On February 9, 1964, America holds its breath. 73 million people, a number almost impossible to imagine, sit transfixed in front of their television sets. They're about to witness something unprecedented, a moment that will change music history forever. 4 young men from Liverpool, England, are about to step onto the Ed Sullivan Show stage, carrying with them a sound that will reset popular music forever and inspire countless of future rock stars to buy a guitar and play. The sound Americans are going to hear is the one of I Want to Hold Your Hand, that song that shot to #1 almost overnight and is driven by John Lennon's hypnotic rhythm guitar. Oh, yeah. But what if we discovered that the iconic sound that John Lennon features in I Want to Hold Your Hand, the sound that conquered America overnight and launched the Beatles to stardom, was never supposed to exist? Stay tuned. In the annals of rock history, few instruments has achieved the legendary status of John's Rickenbacker 325 Capri. To illustrate his historical significance in rock music, even guitars that John Lennon never touched or played are selling for 100,000 euros simply because their serial numbers are a few digits close to the one that John owned, which was a prototype. From the Beatles' unprecedented rise to fame in British entertainment to their stellar success following the Ed Sullivan Show in America, Lennon's unique sound defined the Beatles' phenomenal success and their rise to stardom. Rickenbacker guitars have carved out a unique place in music history, thanks to their signature sound that continues to shape and influence popular music to this day. However, what many don't realize is that this famous sound comes from a surprisingly simple source: a small 5 cents 4 nano 7 capacitor wired in series with the bridge pickup. This capacitor was installed on every Rickenbacker guitar in the 50s, in the 60s and in the 70s, and remained in use until it was discontinued around the 80s. It wasn't an arbitrary choice at Rickenbacker, it was a standard feature designed to create this bright, distinctive tone that became Rickenbacker's hallmark. Lennon predominantly used the bridge pickup, both in studio sessions and live performances, making this capacitor integral to his sound. It's worth noting that even George Harrison's most famous Rickenbacker guitar, his 12 strings 360-12, retained the same high-pass filter capacitor wired to the bridge pickup, which is why many Beatles tributes today struggle to recreate the original George's vintage sound. Remember this capacitor, as it will soon play a crucial role in our story. In mid-September 1962, Lennon's Rickenbacker underwent a significant cosmetic transformation, a black paint job. Some relate this to Beatles manager Brian Epstein, who thought that a black finish would better complement the new Beatles matching suites and create a more cohesive, professional appearance for the band. Some said John simply liked to match George's Gretsch Duojet black color. While the exact timeline remains uncertain, we know that John Lennon's Rickenbacker 325 was last seen in its original natural alder finish, not maple, alder finish, during the EMI sessions of September 4, 1962, the first one with Ringo. The timing aligns perfectly, as on September 10, George and John visited Rushworth Music House in Liverpool and bought 2 electroacoustic Gibson J160E guitars, and used them at the next EMI session on September 11, the one for the Please Please Me single. This suggests that John acquired the Gibson as a replacement for his Rickenbacker 325 that was presumably undergoing refinishing during this exact period. While a lot of people have taken credit for painting John's guitar black over the years, the true identity of the painter remains unknown to this day. What is certain, however, is that when the guitar reappeared at the Tower Ballroom concert in New Brighton on October 12, sporting its new shiny black finish and a brand new set of Hofner teacup control knobs, something had gone wrong. And this is where our story starts to take an interesting turn. But before I continue, I would like to stress that while I am committed to keep this channel running for as long as possible, your contributions help maintain and spread the extraordinary Beatles heritage for future audiences. So please support this channel. And now back to the video. So, what went wrong with John's guitar after it was painted black? Witnesses say that John pretty soon complained about the circuit of his guitar being put back the wrong way, and very soon the wiring of his cherished Rickenbacker guitar began falling apart. What was happening to John's guitar? Whoever was tasked to restore the wiring after its refinishing seems to have run into some problems. Photos from January to May 1963 reveal a chaotic repair history, with mysterious disappearances and reappearances of volume and tone control knobs, and also full potentiometers, until at the Fairfield Hall concert in April 1963, John's guitar appeared stripped down to just 2 knobs. Seems like someone has gutted most of the wiring, providing John with just the essential controls for his guitar to perform. This situation of complete wiring pandemonium forced John in the coming months to almost exclusively use the electroacoustic Gibson J160E that he had bought in Liverpool 1 year before, and which he had swapped with George's one. Until, frustrated by these electrical gremlins, he eventually decided to react and took his beloved Rickenbacker guitar to a guitar repair in London. This likely occurred around July 1963, just in time for John to collect his guitar back when the Beatles returned from their short vacation at Weston-super-Mare. There was no other apparent reason to bring the guitar to repair, except to definitely get rid of all the wiring issues that had been plaguing John for some time. Surely when the guitar finally made it to the guitar doctor, little or nothing of the original wiring had remained. Rickenbacker would have no UK distributor to assist until 1 year later in 1964, and getting wiring schematics would mean waiting them to arrive via air mail from the United States. No way, considering the Beatles' tight schedules. So the repairer likely made the only sensible choice any guitar repairer, including me, will make. Rather than trying to track down the missing original parts from John, they simply chose to rebuild the entire wiring from scratch. This is supported by the fact that when the guitar made its next public appearance at the Grafton Ballroom concert in Liverpool on August 2, it displayed a new set of polished aluminum volume and control knobs and a new black toggle switch knob, which is consistent with a complete replacement of the original wiring. And do you remember which was the crucial component in the original wiring? Yes, the 4 Nano 7 high-pass filter capacitor that provided John's famous Rickenbacker guitar with the sound he featured from Hamburg to the Please Please Me album recording. Now here's worth taking a moment and look at the situation a bit closer. The Beatles are preparing to begin recording their second album with the Beatles in just a few weeks. An album that showcases a rockier, warmer, Motown-influenced sound compared to their previous work. They are also a few months away from recording I Want to Hold Your Hand, the song that will conquer the United States and launch them to stardom, where John's guitar features prominently, serving as the driving force and the main instrumental voice of the track. Let's now consider for a moment the implication of removing the high-pass filter from John's Rickenbacker. What impact would this accidental change have had on its sound quality? Without the high-pass filter capacitor, gone was the original sparkle bright sound. In its place, the bridge pickup would have produced his natural unfiltered tone, notably warmer and richer. Are you getting the point? Does this align with John's sound in I Want to Hold Your Hand and coincide with the band's shift towards a warmer, more American, Motown-influenced sound, as I mentioned before? Is there a chance that the entire trajectory of popular music might have pivoted by the removal of a 5-cent electrical component from John's guitar? To reply, I decided to tackle this head-on. I painstakingly recreated John's legendary Rickenbacker 325 Capri, following every detail of the original 1958 specifications and manufacturing methods. This isn't just any replica, it's a time machine of sorts, capturing every detail of the original, including all other wood construction, Forster drilled tone chambers, handmade pickups wound to match the exact original vintage specs, custom-made pickup covers, a Paduk, unfinished fretboard, nitro lacquer, and all other early modifications of the original few Rickenbackers prototypes batch Lennon's guitar originates from. I have connected a 4 Nano 7 capacitor, the same that John had on his Rickenbacker, to the bridge pickup of this guitar and to a push-pull potentiometer. Pulling the push-pull knob enables me to engage the high-pass filter capacitor, so we can hear the original sound of the bridge pickup exactly as John heard it when he first bought his guitar in Hamburg in 1960 until he recorded the Please Please Be album. Lowering the push-pull knob excludes the capacitor, and the high-pass filter is removed from the circuit, exactly as I suggest it happened after the guitar was finished black. We are now ready to perform a few tests and check which sound fits what. Are you ready? Let's go! This one you're going to hear now is the sound of John's Rickenbacker in the introduction of Cry for a Shadow in a recording of 1961. Let's now insert the high-pass filter capacitor and reproduce this introduction. Sounds very close, right? Because this is a typical sound that our Rickenbacker 325 featured in the 60s, with the high-pass filter filtering the bridge pickup. Let's now remove the high-pass filter and play the same introduction again. That's no longer the same sound, because it has lost the original bright tone. Let's now try playing I Want to Hold Your Hand with the high-pass filter inserted, pretending that John's guitar reached 1963 untouched, and let's compare it to the original. No way this sound compares to the original. Let's now remove the high-pass filter capacitor from the circuit and try again. That's the sound. So, there we have it. A simple audio test confirms what historical evidence suggests. I Want to Hold Your Hand was the breakthrough hit that launched the Beatles to success in America, paving the way for their worldwide success and enduring legacy. The distinctive sound in I Want to Hold Your Hand, where the guitar acts as both the song's backbone and main melodic voice, is so fundamental to the song that it's hard to imagine it existing otherwise. The fact that the removal of such a small electrical component, a 5-cent capacitor, from John's guitar circuit could have potentially altered the entire course of popular music is a remarkable thought. But what about John? Somewhere along the line, the sound of his Rickenbacker changed. This change in sound must have been quite surprising for him at first, but in the end he seemingly discovered something in this new tone that sparked his creativity. Gone was the thin, sharp sound of the original. In its place something fuller, warmer, with a muscular mid-range that drove songs like I Want to Hold Your Hand, Money, A Hard Day's Night. In 1962, John's Rickenbacker 325 Capri was restored to its original natural finish and conditions by a New York luthier, Ron DeMarino. Today stands as a testament of how the biggest moments in music history aren't always carefully planned. The absence of a single 5-cent capacitor gave Lennon's guitar a voice that it was never designed to have, a voice that will echo through decades and inspire countless generations of musicians to come. In the end, perhaps there is a profound lesson here for musicians and creators. Breaking something, and I don't mean necessarily merely material something, is the first step to create something extraordinary. John Lennon's broken guitar didn't just help launch the Beatles into stratosphere. He redefined what a guitar should sound like and what rock music could be. That's not just good fortune, that's rock and roll magic.